What's up, this is AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and you guys will be hanging out today with me, Kevin, and D on the hit list. Check it out.
AJ, Howie, and Kevin are coming up real soon, but first, here's a highlight from their press conference in Cologne, Germany.
It's one of our favorite albums. You know, we worked hard on it. It has a lot of influence, has a lot of personal influences too. These are like some of the last songs that Dennis Pop wrote on the album.
We had a lot of family health issues. Brian had heart surgery. I had a sister that passed away. So there was a lot of things that were going on this last year, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why this album is as good as we feel it is, because of the fact that we went through a lot to get to where we are today.
Welcome back to our All Access Special with the Backstreet Boys. Check it out, it's Sweet D. Great to see you, Howie. Always good to see you. Welcome back on the hit list.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, Millennium is finally out, and we're all very, very excited. And this definitely has a more mature sound to it. So have the Backstreet Boys become Backstreet Men?
I don't know about Backstreet Men. We just, you know, we feel like we wanted our music to evolve. We wanted to grow with this album. I mean, we had a lot of great success off the last album. And it's always hard to top your last album. But this one here, we did a little bit more writing involved in it. We worked with some great producers, some of the same producers, Max Martin. And the sound is just, I think it's just taking it to the next level. But we still have those great ballads like I'll Never Break Your Heart. And speaking of which, I think that's our next video.
I know you're hurting. Right now you feel like you can never love again. Now all I ask is for a chance to prove that I love you. From the first day, justo Andresa, que estaría junto a ti, together forever. When I asked you out, you said no, but I found out, darling, that you've been hurt. You thought that you could never love again. Él te hizo daño y también se engañó, pero deja mostrarte que ese no soy yo. You walked in, you were so quick to judge, but honey, he's nothing like me. I'll never break your heart. I'll never make you cry. I'd rather die than live without you. I'll give you all of me. No lie. Never break your heart. I'll never make you cry. I'd rather die than live without you. I'll give you all of me, honey, that's no lie. Corazón, todo se ve un poco mejor. A little more. Girl, that's the way love goes, baby, baby. And I know you're afraid to let your feelings show. And girl, it's time to let go. I deserve a try, honey, just once. Give me a chance and I'll prove this song. You walked in, you so quick to jump. But honey, it's nothing like me, darling. Why can't you see? I'll never break your heart. I'll never make you cry. I'd rather die than live without you, girl.
that was a combination of 3 different versions of I'll Never Break Your Heart.
That's pretty interesting.
Now, why did you make 3 different versions?
Well, the very first version of I'll Never Break Your Heart we released, back I think about, was it 4 years ago almost? So as you can see from that version to the new version, we've kind of changed a little bit. And America didn't really come onto the scene till latter part of this last year here. And we felt like, the version that we had originally for I'll Never Break Your Heart didn't even look like us compared to the new videos. So we decided to make a new video. And then we actually decided to make another version for the Spanish market since we had translated the song in Spanish. So.
Well, you guys look like puppies in the first one, I think.
No, little kids.
More with Howie when we come back.
See ya.
Welcome back to our All Access special with the Backstreet Boys. Now, Howie, on the Millennium CD sleeve, you are the natural element fire. Why are you fire?
I am fire because it's opposite of my personality, actually. It was kind of weird. When we were choosing the concept of the album, we all wanted to kind of go with the 5 primary colors and the 5 primary elements. And me and AJ were the last 2 to decide. And AJ at first said that, he was going to go with reds, which left me with just yellow, because all the other guys had chosen their colors. And just yellow on me, for some reason, my skin tone just didn't look that well. So I said, AJ, want to switch with me? And I'll be red. And so he was cool about that. Then once we saw the sets, I was like, wow, this fire, that's really AJ's personality, with the tattoos and everything. But by that time, it was a little bit too late. So we said, well, we're kind of different, opposite personalities. Him being, a little bit yellow, sunshiny, sweetness. Me being a little bit more fiery, Latin kind of thing. So, and then AJ, like I said, has his, Kevin's got the dark,
Well, what about Nick and Brian?
Nick and Brian, Nick's favorite color is blue, and water, because he loves being around the water all the time in the sea. And Brian went with white, because he's just like, thinks he's like pure and angelic or something like that. Not. So, but he just went ahead and chose that one.
Okay, well, can you introduce the next video for us?
Sure, I think we're going to take it back to the very first single, We've Got It Going On.
Well, thank you so much, Howie.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show again, and thanks to all of our fans out there for watching us.
Now, guys, don't go anywhere because Kevin is up next.
Facing heart surgery, you kind of weigh your career as opposed to your life and what's important to you. So, and I think it was a realization for each and every one of us in the group because of the fact that what's most important to you is having your life and being able to enjoy it with your family and your friends, but career side and being this so-called, whatever you want to call it, sitting up here on the stage, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing if you can't have your health and your well-being and be happy with doing what you're doing.
Getting Pizza Hut in Chapters locations.
I was involved with the co-writing of Larger Than Life, as well as the one, I'll Be the One. The Perfect Fan was written by me, just by me. So.
Welcome back to our All Access special with the Backstreet Boys, and I'm now with Kevin.
How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Good. Good to
Great.
be back.
Now, Kevin, you wrote and played piano on a couple of songs on Millennium, including Back to Your Heart, and we get to hear more of your lovely voice this time around.
Thank you.
Which is really, really nice. How did all that come about?
Well, I've been playing piano since I was 9 years old by ear, and I take my keyboard with me on the road all the time. And Back to Your Heart was a song that I'd been working on my own. I had some ideas put together, and when we had some time to write and put the album together this past year, I decided that I'd like to write with Gary Baker, a Grammy Award-winning songwriter that's written on 2 of our last albums. So we got together. I went and stayed with him in his home in Huntsville, Alabama, and sat down on his grand piano. He got his acoustic guitar, and 2 hours later we had Back to Your Heart. So I'm excited about the song. I co-produced the song with Steve Lipson, who did a lot of Annie Lennox stuff. So I'm excited about the song and the album. But right now, we're going to take it back a little bit. This is one of our first hit in the United States. We're playing in the rain on Quit Playing Games. Check it out.
Now, Kevin, on the Millennium CD cover, you're steel. Why are you steel?
We were trying to, all of us, do different elements of the earth or of life or whatever, and we're kind of going off of our favorite colors and different types of things, and I love to wear black all the time, blacks and grays and stuff, so I figured that would be the easiest way that I could get to wear black, like Johnny K.
I thought it was maybe because you're the all-protector, the eldest, the strong one in the group.
I think I like yours better.
Okay, well, more with Kevin when we come back.
Ryan wrote a song on the record called The Perfect Fan. So how would each of you describe your perfect fan?
Perfect fan for me is probably my mom. I would definitely say my mom. You know, I was 5 or 6 and I was doing theater or doing whatever. She was always out there screaming, "That's my son, that's my son." And, you know, crying, screaming, and acting like a little kid. And she's still doing it to this day.
And my family has been so supportive, no matter what I've done, whether it was when I was dressed up as Goofy at Walt Disney World, or when it was in the Backstreet Boys and they saw me on stage for the first time. They've always been really supportive.
I just want to say thank you to each and every one of our families, to my mom, and to all of our parents, because without them, like I said before, without our parents, we wouldn't even be here.
I like Don't Want to Lose You and Spanish Eyes.
I like Spanish Eyes also, and Don't Want You Back.
I like Don't Want You Back, and I also like Perfect Fan.
I like Don't Want to Lose You, and have to be biased to Perfect Fan.
So what's your favorite song on Millennium?
Wow. We're all very, very proud of this album. I think, though, my favorite song would probably have to be Don't Want to Lose You Now. That song really, I don't know, I think it's an incredible song. Very proud of the whole album, but Don't Want to Lose You Now is my favorite.
Okay, well, can you introduce the next video for us?
Sure. This was probably the most fun we've ever had shooting a video. This is Everybody Backstreet's Back. Check it out.
Now, you guys made some really cool ads for Millennium. Each of you star in your own. So tell us about it.
It was a lot of fun. We thought since this is the first time we have an album that's going to be released worldwide at the same time, that it'd be fun to include different places all over the world, since luckily we have fans all over the world. And the idea came from a director, but the places and the ideas for each of us came from us. So AJ was in London, England with the guards out there. Brian was in the Coliseum fighting as a gladiator. Nick was in the rainforest somewhere. Howie was chasing the bulls. And I was out in Egypt with the pyramids looking for a beach.
Why did you want to be in the desert?
I want to go to Egypt someday. I love the pyramids. I think they're fascinating. And with the Millennium coming up, that would be something cool.
Cool. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, don't go
Thanks for
anywhere
having us
because AJ is up next.
It's coming up.
We have a lot of fans that come to our houses, and they bring my mom like flowers to come in the house, and
Callie has them for dinner.
And my mom invites them every once in a while.
Some fans also came over to my yard, did some gardening, took out some weeds and stuff out of my front yard. So I just like to thank them for doing that.
Welcome back to our All Access special with the Backstreet Boys, and AJ's in the house.
Hello.
AJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. And you?
I'm very good.
All right, good.
Now, AJ, I hear that yourself, Brian, have just recently purchased new homes. So what's yours like?
Mine's kind of like some out of the Jetsons, actually. I got zebra rugs, big zebra chair, velvet floor, velvet red shag carpet around the house, wood floors, paintings of Picasso, angels on the wall, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Sounds cool.
It's me.
Sounds cool. Does your hat match the rest of your
Actually,
house?
my entire bed is all velvet, black velvet, and I got leopard pillows.
Cool, cool. And I hear you have 2 Shih Tzus. What are their names?
Panda and Bear. And I miss them like crazy. I haven't seen them in about 3 or 4 weeks now. So they're getting bigger. They're getting poofier.
Okay, and one more question before you introduce the next video.
Okay.
Are you still going out with the same girl?
No, not. I was dating Amanda Latonia from Innocence for about a year, and now we've kind of split our ways. We're still friends, and she's going off doing her own solo career. She's working on her career, and I'm obviously working on mine. And if we come back together someday, then we come back together. If not, we'll always be friends. That's a definite.
All right,
So,
well,
now it's time for a video. Check out As Long As You Love Me. That was As Long As You Love Me. Up next is All I Have to Give. Sweet.
So AJ, why are you the sun on the Millennium CD sleeve?
Well, my favorite color is yellow, and it worked out good. And we all picked elements to be, and I picked the sun. It worked for me.
Because you're always shining and bright.
Shining.
Let's check out your new tattoo.
I have a new one right here.
Ouch!
My lucky number 69, and it hurt like the dickens.
Just to switch the pace for a second, are you ever planning on going solo, releasing a solo record?
Possibly, but not anytime soon. We have a lot to work on as a group, and we have so many more goals we have to achieve, but maybe sometime down the road, a couple of years, you might hear a solo record from me.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more AJ.
See you later.
This is like the 50,000th time we've said this, but we're not breaking up. And involved in like solo careers and stuff like that, I think we all realize that the group here is what's got us to where we are right now. And, you know, this is what we're going to be doing for a long time. And in the future, depending on, you know, what we want to do as a group, we will talk about it. And if some of us want to take some time to do whatever, then we'll do that. But no matter what happens, we'll always be the Backstreet Boys.
Want it that way. What is that about? Because we get a lot of emails from fans who are like totally confused.
Well, I'm one of those that are totally confused. Honestly, the song, we've done 2 different versions of the song. We actually re-recorded all the verses and tried to make it make a little bit more sense, but we like this version better. I mean, basically, in short, it's about 2 people being in some kind of relationship, and it's not a two-way street. It's like a one-way street. One person wants it their way, and the other person wants it their way. That's what I understand, but it's still a good song. I love the song. Very cool.
Very catchy song. Nice. Yeah, we keep singing it in the office. We can't stop. Okay, now, where was the video shot, and how did those lucky fans end up in it?
The video was shot at LAX airport for about 28 hours. We shot all day and all night in a big airport hangar. And the fans, I believe, there was a couple of contest winners from like different radio stations and such, and extras from different agencies that came in. And we wanted to have like kind of like the whole Beatles kind of effect of us getting on the private jet and with the fans around and the signs and stuff. It was just kind of a cool concept. And the director, Wayne Isham, it was kind of his idea. So we, of course, went along with it because he's an incredible director. So it worked for me. But if you want to see it for yourself, check it out next. Our first single and video off the new album, Millennium, I Want It That Way.
So the CD's out, the video's out. What about Millennium, the road show? When are you going to be going on tour?
On tour on June 2nd for 10 weeks, and then we come back to Toronto in October. It's going to be great. We're going to be all over Canada. It's going to be a great show. We have a brand new stage. It's in the round. It's got 5 new front rows. We're flying in the show. All kinds of new pyro. We got 10 dancers, brand new band. It's going to be an incredible show. 2 hours long, 18 songs.
Sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much, AJ.
Thank you.
And of course, thank you, Kevin and Howie. All of you for coming all the way up to Canada to co-host.
Anytime.
All right?
Anytime.
So we'll catch you guys next week on the Hit List.
Bye. So this is AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and you guys will be hanging out with me, Kevin, and Howie all today. All today. All today. I can say this right.
Hanging out with us today.
Hanging out with us, thank you. That was a whole lot better for me. So this is AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and you'll be hanging out today with me, Kevin, and D. Golly!
I am
I-
AJ, and you're going to be hanging out with us, with myself, Kevin, and Howie this week on the Hit List.
On the Hit List, all right. This is AJ, you'll be hanging out with me, Kevin, and D today on the Hit List.
That's it?
Okay.
Here we go.
It's right there. I can feel it.
That's okay.
What's up? This is AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and you guys will be hanging out with me, Kevin, and D today on the Hit List. Check it out.
So we have walkie-talkies going on?
I'm gonna kick Marcus's man, y'all messing me up. I'm messing myself up, but still. Shoot up. Kick your butt.
Okay.
Okay, if we can just start with the first row, if you want to go to the mic and ask your first question.
My question is, you've achieved so much success throughout the world through being the Backstreet Boys. If it's not too personal, what do you now hope to accomplish?
I think we still have a lot of goals still to accomplish. The last album for us was unbelievable. The sales, 28 times platinum around the world. And finally having success back home in America for us, 10 times platinum, was a huge success for us last year. So this album here definitely has a hard time competing with that album. So like I said, if we come anywhere even close to it, which like so far the achievements that we've got within just this week look like it might be there. But like I say, certain things like that, hopefully, receiving platinum recognition around the world again with this album. Maybe getting a couple of Grammy Awards, and maybe a Juno Award or something, something like that would be nice.
Be nice. Also, just continuing to grow as performers and singers and writers is a big, big goal. I think we have a lot of room to grow in that area. It's something that we've always tried to do with each album, is to make a better album than the last. And with each tour we do, with each concert, with each show, we try to put together a more exciting show for our fans, and for us as well, because we enjoy pushing ourselves and creating new things. So, I mean, there's just so much that we feel like we have left to do. For the first time, we have the world on the same page as far as the timing of the album and everything. This is going to be our first world tour where we take the same show all around the world. So we're excited about that as well.
Okay, my question is, what is the most dangerous thing that any of you have ever done?
Bungee cord jumping here in Canada's Wonderland last time I was here. That's probably the most dangerous thing.
I flew about 4 months ago. I flew with the Blue Angels in an F-18 Hornet for 45 minutes, which was an experience of a lifetime. It's probably the most incredible rush, except when we step out on the stage, that I've ever had. Yeah, so that was incredible. Flying Mach 1.
Every day. Every day for me is dangerous. I'm always, every time I wake up and step out of the hotel room, I do something dangerous or stupid or crazy. So that's, for me, it's every day.
Kevin, AJ, and Aoi, tell me, where are Brian and Nick today?
Since we have been blessed with being very successful, we're trying to come up with creative ways to cover the globe.
Everywhere.
As a group, so we're splitting things up a little bit, and they're working off in the U.S. right now.
At this time, maybe you had like some values or principle. Have these values or principle changed since all those years? And in what way did it affect the sound of this new album or the themes that we can find on this album?
I think we've, with a lot of the success that we've had, it's easy to maybe get caught up or lost in what's happening around us. We trying to keep our families and friends close to us, to keep us grounded, to keep us solid and strong. We also, we're pretty tough on each other. We don't let each other get too cocky or too arrogant, or don't let each other's heads swell up. So
who's the worst, Nick, AJ?
I think at times we all have our moments, but I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping our heads on our shoulders.
My question isn't so much about the album, but more about your careers. For years, critics have knocked you guys over and over again, even though you guys have sold millions of records worldwide. You guys got a huge fan base that seems to be growing more and more. I want to get your comments on what you think about those critics now with the new album out, and about the fan base. Again, like I said, as you can see here, just keeps on growing.
I think the only way for us to, I guess, quiet the critics or whatever, but is to just, keep putting records out and keep our fans happy, because we're not trying to please the critics. We're trying to please ourselves and our fans. So,
great answer. Good luck, guys.
A significant number of your fans are female, but you also have a large gay male following. Bab's a gay magazine, I have to ask. So I guess my quick three-part question is, how aware are you of this segment of your audience? How do you feel about it? And has there been any pressure on you from your handlers to kind of play it down a bit?
I feel our music is for everybody out there, no matter what age, what sex, what race. And it's very flattering that the gay community is also taking upon our music, the liking of it. We have a very large, gay fan base, and
like I say, I think our music's for everybody out there, to each his own. And, you know, as long as they're liking our music, that's what's most important to us.
Yep. We haven't tried to downplay it at all. Just making music for everybody.
Hi, Rebecca Rankin, Much Music. First of all, the station's trying to convince me to sing for you guys the way Rick did a couple of years back in New York, but I'm not going there. The question I've got for you is, with popular music today, there's a lot of marketing that goes into it. Does it ever get in the way of the music for you guys?
I don't think it really gets in the way, but you don't want to overdo it. You know, you don't want to. I mean, we've been offered many times before to do like dolls and pillows and
movies.
It's like movies and stuff, but it's not. That's a little excessive when you really think about it, and that's not what this business is really about. I mean, for us, again, this is about the music, and you know, your occasional T-shirts or posters and stuff like that is, you know, it's cool. It's like that fine line, but there is a lot of like marketing that goes into, you know, groups and solo artists and people in this industry, but if it's done tastefully and it's done right and it's not overdone, then I think people will respect you for it. And we also want to give something back to our, you know, to all of our fans, you know, besides just coming and seeing us on stage from 50 rows back or whatnot. You get them a picture or a poster. We do meet and greets, try to do something where we can get as close to our fans as possible. But I mean, I don't know, but you'll definitely never see a Backstreet Boy dolls or Backstreet Boys pillowcases or...
A lot of girls are going to be crying at that one.
I know, but
it's all about the respect factor. I mean,
that's something we've been fighting for.
Respected within the industry.
Something we've been fighting for is the control of that, because at first, when we first got started, we didn't really have total control of that, and now we're getting that. So it's been a battle for us.
Okay, well, I'm glad you say that, because I mean, you know, the credibility definitely could slope if you start putting out dolls.
Oh, exactly. we were in the U.S. the other day, and some girls had made some. They look like little voodoo dolls.
That's all right. That's okay.
Those are pretty cool.
Gotta ask yourself about that one. Okay, thanks. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Tracy Melcher from City TV.
I like your hat.
Oh, thanks, and I like yours.
Cool.
Good trade. 1998 was your most successful, well, up until this week, and yet it was one of your hardest, both professionally and personally. How did you manage to balance everything?
I don't know. A lot of prayer.
We came together. The closest. We're right now to this day the tightest we've ever been. I mean, no matter what the extreme, Brian had surgery. Kevin and Brian lost their grandfather. Howie lost his sister. We were going through all kinds of legal battles, and we changed management. I mean, it was just a huge emotional roller coaster for all of us, but we had to come together and make a stand for what we wanted as a group. I mean, it couldn't be two of us wanting this and three of us wanting that. I mean, we came together and said, this is what we want to make us happy again, because we weren't happy. We were getting up on stage every night, and me personally, I felt like I was just getting up on stage just because I had to, you know? But now, we're back to just getting up on stage and wanting to be there and wanting to be on stage and wanting to perform and wanting to be in the studio, and we're just psyched now, and we're happy again.
We were approaching a burnout point, and
Basically.
the people that were around us didn't really care about that, and they were only looking at financial side of things, short term. They weren't thinking about our health and our happiness, and now we have people around us that do. So, but we got through that by communicating with each other and sticking together, because at the end of the day, the five of us are the ones that are in charge and control everything, and we have to be happy.
And we are. Now we are. Amen.
It shows. Thanks.
On behalf of BMG, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Maybe I can coax the boys to put their jackets on for a quick photo op.
Sure. Not a problem. Thank you, everyone that came. Thank you.
Well, this week is going to be a good example of what the rest couple of years are going to be like then.
Basically. I mean, we have probably about 4 days off after I leave here today. And then we have about a week left of brush-ups, and then we start on June 2nd for 10 weeks.
Prior to the first album being released and going huge, did the whole band realize the work ethic needed to pull this off?
We knew that this album was probably going to be even more work than the past album, because it was like we had to kind of live up to the expectations that people were, you know, expecting for this album. Because it's like, we did our first album, and that one held on strong for about 2 years. Or it's going on 2 years. It'll be 2 years in August. And it's like we spent almost a year and a half doing this album. I mean, no one really realizes it, but if you put every day back-to-back recording time, we probably spent about 3 months on this album, and that's it. But it was over a whole year and a half worth of time. I mean, we did like 6 or 7 weeks of just recording in Sweden. Then we did a couple of TV shows for the single and shot the video in one day. It was about a 28-hour shoot. And, I mean, we just realized that there's going to be a lot more work involved. But actually, there really hasn't been, because the album's kind of doing it for itself. And the hype and the music in general is kind of working for itself.
It's true you have a built-in audience. There are people that are going to go out and get this because they have the first two Boys albums. Is there any goal to maybe expand that 30 million figure to maybe people, to an older audience, maybe to more males this time around?
I think with this album especially, I think we're going to do that, because this album has got, have you heard the album yet?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not your typical, all right, just making sure. This album is really not like the first album, in a sense that like the first album is all love songs, you know, or like really happening party songs. This album is a little bit more of a growth for us. I mean, songs like Show Me the Meaning, The Perfect Fan, Don't Want to Lose You Now, they're a little bit deeper. And then there's like songs like Don't Want You Back, which is my favorite song on the album, which is the complete opposite of like a typical Backstreet Boys record. It's more like the angry side of us, you know, saying that you're in some kind of relationship with a girl and she just totally disses you and you just don't want her back. You just say, the heck with you. You're out of my life for good. But it's like, I think vocally this was a more challenging album, and on top of that, there were songs written and produced by us, which is really a growth, and hopefully we'll gain a whole lot more respect from critics especially, and people in this industry, you know, other, you know, artists and such. So I think this album will hopefully, knock on wood, will do better than the, you know, last two albums. I think it will.
Even though Brian co-wrote Larger Than Life and Perfect Fan, I would imagine those are sentiments the whole band shares.
Yeah, I mean, we all, like on It's Gotta Be You, Brian and I did pretty much most of the vocal arrangement on that song. And Brian co-wrote Larger Than Life, and he co-wrote I'll Be the One, and he wrote The Perfect Fan about a year and a half ago. Kevin wrote Back to Your Heart in like 2 hours. Kevin flew out to Alabama, started playing the piano over at Gary Baker's house, and Gary sat down and started playing his, you know, guitar, and within 2 hours the song was written. And I mean, I don't know, it's weird. It's like we had a lot more say on this album, which is good, which makes this a whole lot more personal of an album and makes it more, I think, of a Backstreet Boys record.
Well, there's a lot of introspection going on with those two songs in particular. You know, Brian was obviously thinking something before he helped put the pen to paper. Has the past year or a couple years been that way for you? Like just a lot of thinking going on, taking stock in a lot of things?
This past year has been basically the Rolling Stone issue hit it on the head. I mean, it was kind of a real abrupt title, but it's true. This has been the Backstreet Boys year in hell, because we had deaths in some of our families. Howie lost his sister, Dennis Pop. Brian and Kevin lost their grandfather. Brian had surgery. So it's like, this past year we had trouble with our record company, we had trouble with our management. Now we have new management, new album, a whole new outlook on everything. And we have a way better attitude now, way better, whole lot more positive. We're finally comfortable and we're happy. And we can go on stage and just sing and dance and just do our job and not have to worry about the business stuff going on behind us, because we have an incredible management team that is doing it for us.
Ideally, that's what it's all about, is that comfort level.
Exactly. And for this past year, we'd have to, like, 10 minutes before a show, sit down and have a meeting about finances or a meeting about this, and it just stresses you out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go on stage thinking about, you know, firing somebody or doing this or hiring somebody or production or this and that. I just want to get up on stage and sing, and that's it. You know?
The shit that went down with management, old management, how did that affect the dynamics of the group? Did it bring you guys closer together at all?
Definitely. I mean, we were going through a point in time, probably for about 8 months, where we basically had no management, and we were doing it ourselves.
And I mean, it was difficult because we're not managers. I mean, we're artists. We have no clue what the hell we're doing, you know, when it comes to that, you know, promotion stuff, traveling, touring, booking shows, booking tickets. I mean, all these kind of things that is not really our job, you know. But we got through it. It was pretty rough, but we made it. And then we finally sat down in Las Vegas and met with, geez, probably 10 to 15 management companies, just one after another. And the firm just really, we just clicked. I mean, they were young guys, they were close to our age, and they just have that like fire and that drive to just want to help us. And they've done an incredible job so far.
I'm not going to dwell on the litigation stuff involved with Louis Pearlman or anything like that. There was a lot of money the boys didn't see, which was rightfully theirs.
Right.
It's a given. This is all part of the business that fans aren't aware of.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I talk to people all the time that says, "Oh, you know, I want to get into the business." I'm looking at them and I'm going, you know what? It's more than standing up on.
That's why this is called the music business, because I mean, we did a show with we didn't actually do the show with them, but we went and saw the Temptations probably about 2 years ago. And we all of us went backstage and we talked to a couple of the guys, and one of the guys turned to us and said, "You know what, you guys, I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice." He's like, you realize that this is called the music business. He's like, don't forget that while you're on stage doing your music, your business could be walking out the door behind you. And it's very true. I mean, and your business could be totally screwing you over behind you while you're on stage doing the music. And it's true. But I mean, nobody really knows what the heck we went through for a year, but we've all grown up a lot in the last year, and we've all matured and became businessmen. We've been kind of forced to, you know, but it's definitely beneficial to us because now we understand things in every department better. You know, we're not real businessmen or managers or anything like that, or attorneys, but we understand more now, and we're not getting the wool pulled over our eyes anymore.
What won't kill you will make you stronger?
I think the fact that the five of us had to really come together as a group and stand up for what we wanted, and instead of like two of us wanting this and three of us wanting that, or one of us wanting this and four of us wanting that, the five of us came together as a team and just said, this is what we want, and we got it. It took us a while to get it, but now we have it. And like I said, now we all go on stage and we're happy to get back on stage, and we're not worrying about anything. We're up there just doing what we do best, and it's so much easier.
I gotta wrap this up quickly, but just before you head out, you lift the head up, just for the ladies, just for the eyes. There you go.
Hello.
Just your thoughts on the word millennium, first of all. For some people, it's the end of something. For some, the beginning.
Right.
What's it mean to you?
I think to me and for us as a group, it's a new beginning. We've been through a lot of changes, a lot of growth in this past year. It was probably our most successful year, but probably one of the most difficult years of our lives, just with Brian's heart surgery, deaths in our family, conflicts with management and stuff, just trying to take control of our lives. And it's a new beginning for us. We're excited. We're very proud of the material on the album.
Well, throughout all that stuff that was happening, you know, some of the deaths, Dennis Pop, for instance, at any point did anybody just want to chuck it and say, "I have my life to live, this was nice," but...
I think when Brian went in the hospital, and right after he went in the hospital and came back out on the road, I think we all kind of woke up and realized, you know what, none of this is worth anything if we're not happy and we're not healthy. And we were reaching a point where we were really burned out and we weren't enjoying it anymore. And so we wanted to find a management company and that would support not only having a great career and the music, you know, quality being good and always being out there, but at the same time our mental well-being, our health. We wanted somebody that could consider all that. And so that was what's most important to us now, is being happy. Because if you're happy, then you're going to make other people happy.
Well, with every new album, there's the impending world tour, which is, a year and a half on the road, which does wipe you out. Are you going to do things differently this time around?
Yes, we are.
Because your work ethic has always amazed me, the whole band's work ethic.
We've been blessed that we've been successful all over the world. And with that, you just have to really plan very carefully so that, you can get around to all these fans and all these people that have supported you. And that's something that we want to do. This is the first tour that we're actually going to take all over the world. The other times we've done like parts of the world in segments, but they've been kind of different shows because different countries have been on different albums and different songs. And now we have finally the whole world on the same page. So putting the show together, and we start June 2nd. And in the scheduling, we've just, instead of going 6 days with no day off, we're going like 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, and make it a lot easier for us. We can spend more time in the places that we're playing to enjoy the cultures and the people that we're meeting, and just enjoy it more, make it more fun. Because in the past, there's been days where we've done 3 shows in 1 day. We did 2 shows here in Toronto in 1 day last time. AJ injured his quad and couldn't go on the second performance. So we just have to manage our time and make sure that we're healthy.
Throughout it all, you're always smiling, though. It never ceases to amaze me.
I mean, it's hard to, throughout it all, I mean, no matter what, this is a gift that we've been given, and we're very grateful for that. We don't want to, even though we might be having a bad day or whatever, we don't want that to, affect people watching our shows. We want them to have a good time, and whenever we go out on stage, no matter how tired we were, we always, as soon as we heard that crowd, the adrenaline, the rush,
it's all that moment.
Always came back. So that helped, that helps you carry through.
I want to talk about Max Martin for a second. He returns as a co-producer and songwriter again. What is it with this guy? Is it formula? Is he just been blessed with his talent to write songs?
Max is the same age as me, and he grew up in Stockholm, and back before he started writing and producing with Dennis, he was in a lot of rock bands. He listens to all types of music, and he just has a great sense of melodies and a great ear. I think he's just been blessed. I think on this album, we're all so proud of it, and we're especially proud of the fact that we've been co-writing with him. But I think this album, he won ASCAP. He just got recognized for ASCAP Songwriter of the Year for 1998, which we're very happy for
10
him.
years, I think.
And I think he learned a lot from Dennis as well. So he's just a very talented guy. We're happy to be working with him still.
Never before has a Backstreet Boys record had so many cuts co-written by members of the boys themselves. Is that just a confidence factor after a number of years in the industry, you're actually willing to do it more? Or for you, for instance, have you always written, just this is the first time?
I wrote my first song when I was 13 years old. It probably wasn't album material, but I think we've grown. I think we have gained some confidence. But just like with Michael Jackson, with Madonna and Janet, I mean, they grew into their writing, and that's something that we're doing. We want to do, because if we're not growing and if we're not getting better, then we're just getting worse, because you're not going to stay the same. So we're trying to, push ourselves and grow.
Come on in.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm okay, good to see you again.
How's everything?
I'm okay.
Good.
Take a seat.
Well, thank you.
Here we go again.
Then again. Backstreet's back again.
Are you prepared for the hectic schedule you're about to face? This is going to be nuts.
Yeah, it's been a little bit crazy here those last couple of weeks, but getting ready for the tour and doing promotion and having an album release and everything, so.
Well, the album title is Millennium, and that can mean a lot of things to different people. The end of something, the beginning of something. Does it mean anything special for you that way?
Well, it's kind of weird, because I was actually in my album credits, I quoted Webster's dictionary of the meaning of millennium, and one was the coming again of Christ. Another part was the rebirth of something. And I think in one of the other meetings, it was a set of 1,000 years. I mean, 100 years. Oops, too many years there. Millenniums. And then I put down my definition of what I thought millennium meant to me. And it was like pretty much thanking God for giving us, several more years to come. And I was able to, experience this, new century about to come. And for allowing us to have a great album out there, which hopefully people will enjoy for, long time. And also for the rebirth of the Backstreet Boys. And we went through a lot of trials and tribulations within this last year, even though it was one of our biggest years for us. We had a lot of stuff that happened business-wise, family-wise, deaths within the family. Brian had heart surgery. And I think we overcame all that. And now with new management and, great organization and still a great record company, we're able now to take on this new venture into this next, century with a new album, new outlook on the whole business. And so hopefully it'll be a great millennium for all of us.
Is it a lot easier said than done in that case? Because I'm thinking, yeah, you did have your most successful year, or, one of them, out of the 6-year career. It was offset by the passing of your sister, Dennis, the producer, Brian's surgery. What got you through? Is it that faith in Christ that you speak so freely about, and which I admire because I am Catholic too, and that is important to me?
I definitely feel it was that. I mean, it was, having a higher power to, to be able to go to in those trying times, along with our families, along with the 5 of us. I mean, this is, like I said, this last year was, I think, the time that we got the closest together. We all, for once, being in this business, you have so many people around you, and so many people that are constantly tugging at you, just as a group and sometimes individually. And a lot of that was happening in the past, and finally the 5 of us just got together and said, you know what? It's the 5 of us that are going to have to make it through all this. People are going to be around us and may come and go, but if we're not tight, then we're going to end up splitting. So that's when all of a sudden, like I say, we just grouped together and just said, you know what? We all want this. We want a long career in this. We want the Backstreet Boys to go on for a long time. And there were so many rumors that were going on. We were splitting up and everything. And we all, talked amongst ourselves and said, is anybody really interested in going, several ways? And we all collectively said, no, we want this to work. And so we did a bit of soul searching. And I think, like I say, it made us lots tighter. We now have each other's back. If somebody wants a little bit more time off, if other people want to work a little bit harder, we come to a compromise on what's best for everybody.
AJ and I talked a bit about this, and that's what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And, you have faced a lot in the past couple of years, and specifically with management.
Totally. Yeah, it's been, we had to do one of our biggest decisions last year of our careers was probably deciding to change management. And it was a very awkward situation. I know me personally, I'm always not that really good about changes. And I'm always scared about, what's the outcome of everything. But it was the best thing for us collectively to do, and along with management. It was a collective agreement. There was no hard feelings at the very end of it. We all, went our separate ways, and, if we bump into them, we still say hi to them. It's not like no grudgements or anything. They're still, we wish everybody the best out there. But it was just, the best decision for us to go, as the Backstreet Boys, to go in our separate direction and find management that was there for us, that had the same ideas as us.
Well, one of the things that I've always admired is that sense of adversity, specifically with you on the personal things, but just the work ethic, too. I've never seen a band work as hard as you guys do, and I've told you this before. And it never ceases to amaze me how you can do all this with a smile as well.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the stuff that I don't think fans or people who haven't gotten a glimpse behind the scenes of what it's really like.
Right. It's true. It's a lot more work than a lot of people think. Sometimes you come downstairs, or you might have had 3 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep the night before, and all of a sudden you're supposed to be with a smile on your face and, meet and greeting and doing interviews and everything. And sometimes we just like everybody else, we're normal people, and sometimes we don't have the best days. Sometimes we woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or we, didn't get enough sleep or whatever. But it's one of those things, like, for me, I'm almost like a workaholic, I feel. I love my career so much. I've been in it since I was a little kid, since around the age of 6. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just something about the whole entertainment business that it gives me just like an adrenaline rush. I mean, I think it's, being around creative, people, being around fans that admire our music, being around, just getting ourselves out there across the whole world. And that just, to me, keeps me going throughout it all, no matter how much sleep or no matter what kind of day I have.
At any point, have you ever thought about chucking it, or no, that's not out of the question?
No, definitely not. It's just starting for me in the group, you know? And, I mean, even though I've been in this business since the age of 6, and it's almost 20 years now, this is just like my first break. So it's like all that hard work is now just finally starting to pay off. So it's too early for me to cash in and just say, you know, I'm done with this. I want to be in this career for a long time, hopefully like Michael Jackson and, you know, like groups like the Eagles and, you know, just to be around for a long time.
And everybody's from the same mindset, too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's good.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man. Okay. Take care of yourself.
No, they're not going to see this.
Okay.
Feel free to answer honestly.
Okay.
Series of rapid-fire questions. Here we go. Who's the biggest flirt in the band?
AJ, most definitely.
AJ.
Me.
Okay. Who never has any money? Always borrowing money.
Me.
Well, AJ, every once in a while, sometimes we'll go to a club, and he'll purposely just not bring any money or a credit card or anything. And then all of a sudden the bill will come up at the very end, and I'll be like, okay, we're going to work something out here. And he's like, I didn't bring my money. I'm like, he's done this to me 3 times in a row already. I'm catching on now. So
it seems like I have money, but it's not in the currency that I need it in. Like, it's, you know, we'll be in England, I won't have any pounds on me. All I have is American cash. So sometimes we'll stop and go to a restaurant. I'm like, I don't have any, you know, American currency, and somebody will loan me that. I mean, any foreign currency. But maybe me. I don't know. That might be me. Nick maybe also.
Okay. Who spends most time in front of the mirror?
Let's see. I think the fellas will probably say Howie.
I'm sure the guys will probably say it's me, because I have to, you know, make sure all hair 32 and 34 is in place. You know?
Either myself, Howie, or Kevin.
It takes a while to get the...
Yeah, I take about a half hour sculpting my stuff.
Okay. Who's the biggest slob on tour? Always farting, smelly feet?
Me and Nick.
Nick, too?
Nick, yeah.
I always tell Nick that it's not only his bus, it's all of our bus. So I have to make sure, you know, that he keeps a common courtesy to all of us and doesn't trash the bus too much or get his Nintendo all over the place or his smelly socks, you know, in my bunk.
Big slob. That's Nick and AJ.
Who'd be the first to go solo?
Wow. I don't know.
I don't know. You know, it's kind of weird. I mean, I think we all have the potential of doing it. It's just a matter of timing. When we all would feel like, okay, now that, you know, a certain person has an interest of doing that instead of just doing the group thing, or maybe during the downtime thing. I mean, I've done a little bit of solo acting already, so, you know, and Kevin's done a little bit of modeling, you know, here and there. So it's not like, I mean, we've always talked about it, you know, none of us wants to hold each other back from doing anything that makes them happy, as long as it doesn't interfere with the group.
Each of us have thought about it, so, but within maybe a couple of years or so, I don't know, I'd like to, Nick would like to, Brian would like, all of us would.
I think we all have aspirations of possibly doing that. But that's just something that we've always promised each other. If one of us is feeling that they want to go off and do that, then we'll just sit down and talk about it.
Maybe a KISS thing where all of you go solo at once,
Yeah,
and then get back together.
Come back and just do a big reunion tour. Like,
who'd be the first to get married?
Brian.
I'd probably have to say Brian or Kevin.
Probably Brian.
Yeah? And lastly, everyone's got a favorite Backstreet Boy. Who's your favorite Backstreet Boy?
Who's my favorite Backstreet Boy? Wow. Brian or AJ? It's hard. Brian's my cuz. I love him. AJ, I'm really proud of how much he's grown.
Probably, I'd have to say Howie.